I really should be wearing a sweater. I'm not gonna wear a sweater. It snowed last night. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's video. So we are comparing my Blendiful to this guy right here. Oh gosh, there's such a story behind buying this thingy. So I bought this little thingy on Amazon about 2 months ago, I want to say, maybe a month and a half ago, and it was referred to me by a friend who was like, oh, you have the Blendiful, so you need to try this one because apparently it's like this really great dupe for the Blendiful. And as you guys know, I've done a review of the Blendiful on my channel, and this retails for $18, and it comes with this little Blendiful, and then it comes with a baby Blendiful. I call it the Blendiful. So you get these two for $18. For you guys, a dupe for the Blendiful. It does come in a package like this, so you actually get 4 in here. You get a little one that looks, it's a little bit smaller than the regular Blendiful. And then you get a red one, which is a little bit bigger than the mini Blendiful. And you get 2. So 2 black, 2 red. And I actually ended up ordering 2 packages just in case if I washed it and it destroyed itself. These retail for $5.99, and it looks like they've actually changed since then. They actually come with 3 of each size instead of 2 of each size. So they do come 3 and 3, and then they are $5.99 on Amazon.com right now. I will actually link the information in the description box below so that you guys can see how much it is, how you get free shipping. It does take a little bit longer to get here because I'm pretty sure it ships from China. Even if it takes a little bit longer, you paid $18 for this one, and you're paying $5.99 for a whole bunch of these. So price difference, definitely you can see it there. So I have opened up my other package and I have these 2 right here. I have been using them for a little bit, but I wanted to actually show you guys the quality on camera. So this is obviously the dupe. This is the regular Blendiful. They've both been washed. And then we'll flip it over and you guys can see the mini and the mini dupe. The mini has also been washed and so has the red one. So you guys can see definitely there is a texture difference between the larger Blendiful dupe and the regular Blendiful. When my regular Blendiful actually came in the mail, it looked like this one, and now that I have washed it, obviously not. Let's go over some of the pros and cons of the Blendiful versus the dupe Blendiful. So one of the pros, it does have the little band like the Tati Blendiful does. The con is that it is a little bit smaller of a size and the shape isn't teardrop, so, but you can squeeze it down actually smaller than the Blendiful. So you will be able to still get into those creases. You still will be able to, you know, get really, really close under here, really, really close under here. And obviously the textures are different. So we're going to put these 2 to the test. We're going to use the same products on each side of my face, but we're going to use one side with the Blendiful, one side with the dupe Blendiful. We're going to see which one applies better, and then I will give you guys my thoughts after we apply this. And we're going in, this is a putty primer from e.l.f. It's the Poreless Putty Primer. They say that this is actually a dupe for the Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer, and we're going to go in with the Blendiful first. And as Tati says, you just take it and you swipe. So left side is going to be the Blendiful side and the right side will be the dupe side. And I have to remember that I'm using 2 different sides. So this is supposed to matte and fill pores, this primer. So we want to see how it applies with the Blendiful, and then we want to see how it applies with the, what should we call this? The Cirky? We'll call it the Cirky. It's the Cirky blend. And then we're going to take the Cirky blend and we're going to apply everything to this side of my face. So the big thing I am looking for is, does it apply evenly on each side of my face? Does it do the same thing? Does one do one better than the other? And then we're also looking to see if you need to use as much product as you normally would with any other kind of tool. So looking in the mirror, both sides of my face look really, really even. And we're going to move on to the foundation. We're going to be using my foundation plate, and then I also have a Conceal and Hydrate full coverage. This is actually medium coverage, but it's more full coverage for me. So this is the Conceal and Hydrate foundation from Makeup Revolution. This is an F4. I actually need to get a little bit of a lighter shade, but the reason why I picked this is because I know how it performs, I know how it sinks into my skin, and I also know that what kind of coverage it provides when I use a brush or when I use a regular, like not Blendiful, but a regular puff. So we just did 2 pumps on my sheet. We're going to take the Blendiful. I'm actually going to take the little corner. She said you literally just streak it on your face. I'm going to do half of my face, and then you go through and you blend. So what I'll be looking for is coverage, the difference in between coverage, and then also every single time I've used the regular Tati Blendiful, I have noticed that there is a ton of streaking on my eyes and a lot of texture on my face. So we're checking for that too, just to kind of see if this holds up. So I just did a little bit. It covered half my face, so it did do a really good job with only using a little bit of product. Now we're going in with the Cirque, whatever you call it, my little Dupe Blendy. Swiping this on my face, and then we will go in and blend. And look, I barely used any product out of that, so I probably could have used at least a pump, maybe a pump and a half. Applying it to the same areas in the same fashion, and then we will look at texturization on my pores too. Now I am noticing with this specific style, I am able to actually get under my eye better as opposed to the Blendiful. And obviously the foundation covered up a lot of the breakage right here, which is really good. So coverage wise on camera, you can see it is more of a medium full coverage foundation. It actually looks really, really flawless on the skin. Here's a close up for you guys. I kind of feel like there's a lot of texture on this side, not so much on this side. And that might be because of the difference in texture with the blendies. Maybe we'll call this the blendy. Yeah. I'm gonna come up with different names for this, I swear. This side is the Blendiful, and we'll do the blendy. We'll just call this the blendy. The Blendiful and the blendy. Yeah, I definitely feel like there's more texture right here on this side where the Blendiful is and on this side where the blendy is. So there we go with foundation application. Usually I'm the type of person who, after I do all my liquid products, I like to spray my face. So we're gonna go on to concealer really quick. This is the e.l.f. 16-Hour Camo Concealer, and it's in the color Light Peach. So it does have a little bit of a pink undertone. We're just gonna do a drop, cover up some of these blemishes over here. And we'll do the same on this side, and then right down the middle of the nose, and then highlight the forehead just a little bit, and down here. I seriously find that dabbing this concealer on actually helps like spread it more evenly. So we're going to go in with the blendy side, the Blendiful side, and we are going to do, my nose is going to be a little bit of a mash because I mean I can't help how and where this goes. Your nose is such a small surface area, it's not really going to do anything. So we are applying this. I'm actually going in like really, really lightly because I don't want to accentuate the texture. Like the texture of these two is incredibly different. And it's amazing how washing the Blendiful, it changed the texture of the material. Which I actually have some thoughts on that. So I've actually started washing my Blendiful just a little bit differently in hopes that it will kind of restore that really sleek texture it had when I first bought it, and if it doesn't, then I know it's the material that she chose. My under eye done on that side. Now we're going back into the blendy. I'm just going to call this the blendy. Again, it's a lot easier to actually get under my eye because of the way that this is like curved. I don't know, maybe because you can squish it smaller. Here's a close-up for you of what my face looks like. This is the Blendiful side. This is the blendy. the fake Blendiful. Can you guys tell a difference so far? Anybody else think that this side looks less textured than this side? Because I definitely feel like it does. Leave a comment below because I would like to know. I feel like this side is a little bit more smooth and it's, you know, more, better blended, whereas this side it feels like it's textured and accentuating my pores, like right in here. Right here it doesn't really feel like it. So I do kind of feel like the Blendiful side is like really texturizing my face. This side is going on a little bit more smoothly, a little bit more airbrush. It's giving me that effect that I want. And we're going to go in with a brightening powder. This is one that actually Tati loves to recommend herself. And we're going to flip the Blendiful around because you shouldn't be putting powder on top of a cream or foundation liquid product. And we're just going to put the brightening powder under my eye and on my forehead and on my nose, which we aren't really going to be able to split the nose at this point. And then I like to put the Brighten Up powder also along my smile line because it actually acts as like a setting powder. So I love doing that. And then we're going to take the same powder with the little baby, the Blendy, I'll call it the Blendy. I think that's my official name for it. And we are going to do the same thing. That way we can test out the powder. Trying to focus on the same places that I got it in before. I feel like the Blendiful, this side, it's a lot more concentrated and you can actually see where it's like brightened more. I don't know if that is a good thing or a bad thing because it did brighten really, really well. But at the same time, I feel like there's like an over concentration of powder on this side as opposed to this side. It's a little bit more like, again, flawless. Looking in my monitor here so I can show you guys. All right, so she did also say that you can use it with like your bronzer and your highlighter and your blush. So we're just going to be using the BECCA Chloe Malika collab. This is a blush bronzer highlighter duo, and I've been using this a lot since I did a Shop My Stash, and that video will be coming pretty quick here to my channel, but here it is. Isn't it beautiful? So we're going to be using, this is a matte bronzer. We're going to use the Blendy first. We're just tapping it in like this, and then the first place I always concentrate it is right here, using the Blendy to get some of this product onto my face. It's getting a little bit patchy in here and it kind of feels like it's not wanting to blend out. Blendy side. Now let's try the Blendiful side. And we're going to be using that same side that we used powder for. I do like the coverage area of this one where you're able to just go boop, 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 boop. And then you can do one fat sweep on your forehead. I feel like that makes it a lot easier when you're doing the same pressure because then it'll make your makeup a lot even. Lot more even. So far for powder product, I think the Blendiful is winning this one. I like how it's applying. I like the coverage area. This one, because of the size, it's just a little bit small. Let's try and get it on the entire puff. And then try the same technique. So this side completely saturated in the product, and this side, it really doesn't have a lot. Like when I dip my bronzer when I dip this into the bronzer, you can definitely still see it. But right now, it just kind of feels like it's not there. And you can definitely see the pigmentation on my nose is way different. This side does feel more patchy with the product. I just feel like I need to work it in more. I feel like this side is super patchy. It may not help that I have like breakouts there and it is making my skin a little bit hard to work with. Like I can see a line here from the product that I put on with the Blendy and it just isn't doing it. I'm going to spray my face really quick just to kind of give my face some hydration. We're using the Milk Makeup. This is a blur setting spray. Yeah. This should like rehydrate my face. Get it back where it needs to be. And then this is where we're going to be going in with the minis. So we're going to use the blush and we're going to use the little mini to put on the blush. So we're using this color here and I'm pretty much just stamping this in, putting it on my cheekbone. My face is still a little bit wet, so hopefully it'll dry down really nice when I do this. We're using the little baby Blendiful. The texture on these and the thickness is so much different from the original, like the larger one, which I find interesting. You can still obviously fold this in half and use it. The Blendy and the Blendiful. I keep forgetting what side of the face I'm working on. As far as application for powder, I'm liking the way both sides look. I feel like this side is just a little bit more streaked than the other side. And I think it's because of the size of the Blendiful. Like, the Blendiful is huge. I can get a great massive amount of product on my face. And then we're going to roll a little band over on the baby, and we're going to use the highlight just to get a little bit of shine in my face. See how this looks. My skin looks super, super texturized though. I do notice that. Very texturized. So I flipped the band over on this one, using the highlight. Okay, so this side definitely looks a lot more texturized in the mirror to me, especially in this one. Here we go. Close up of this side. Can you see the texture right here? Usually I don't have a lot of texture when I highlight, and then there's this side. It's a little bit more flawless, a little bit more airbrushed. I can see a difference in between the two sides. Are they drastically, hugely different? No, not really, but I think when you get in and you zoom, you can see it. I feel like with both these products, my face just feels really, really texturized, and I don't like having texture on my face, and I think it's because of the material that is used. Like, it doesn't, like, this one is a little bit better. I don't feel like it's as texturized as much with the powder product, but I still feel like it's really texturized, and it's accentuating some of my larger pores that I really technically have never seen on my face before. Like, it's creating pores that I've never seen, and that's kind of frustrating because I'm not the type of person that has like oversized pores. So here you go, guys. There's a comparison between the Blendy, my dupe Blendiful, and the actual Blendiful. And let me finish the rest of my face, and then I am going to give you guys my final thoughts and opinions on the two. I have been using each one of these for a while now, and there is going to be a complete follow-up video on just the Blendiful about what I found with it, how I wash it, all that kind of stuff. This one is actually just a comparison of the dupe versus the real Blendiful. Okay guys, so we have the eyeshadow on and my face is complete. So I'm going to take my hair out of the headband real quick here so I can show you guys kind of like the finished face look. Now, what do I think about it? My hair is pretty much a mess right now. It looks kind of like Madonna-y, but that's beside the point. Rockstar vibe, I guess. Final thoughts after having used the Blendiful for a very long time, having used the fake Blendiful, the Blendy, I'm going to call it the Blendy, that's its name, the Blendy. And so what do I think? I think that this one actually applies my makeup a heck of a lot better than the actual Tati Blendiful. And the reason why I say that is because even when you wash it, it keeps its original fabric texture, whereas this one, it's already matted. Like, I've washed this thing probably 3 or 4 times, and it's always been hand washed, and I wash it in a moisturizing shampoo because when you really think about it, when you wash fabric, when you wash your clothes, you always use a fabric softener. Well, why wouldn't you use a moisturizing, like a fabric softener type of soap for the Tati Blendiful? So I have been using a moisturizing soap, body soap for that. It is just a bar of soap, and I literally just like rub on it like that. And I use the same bar of soap to wash both of these, and this one has kept its texture and this one has not. So that is the first thing that I have absolutely noticed about it. If you also notice, the Blendiful collects a lot of product on it as opposed to the Blendy, the fake Blendiful. Look at all the product that is still on my Blendiful. Look at all that product. And I think a lot of it has to do with the texture of the material as well, but even like this side, if you look at this side, this is the side I used for a lot of my liquid foundation. And then you look at this one, there's barely anything on it. So I definitely do have to say that that is something that really shocks and awes me. I know that the Blendiful, one of the advertising perks is that you don't use as much product, which is understandable. I totally get that. And I feel like a lot of it started to collect on the Blendiful, and it's actually gotten worse as I've used it. Whereas this one, it's been used a couple of times now. It's been washed more than once, and all of the product is off of it and onto my face. Same coverage, But how many times did I have to dip into my stuff with this one as opposed to this one? So I do find that really interesting. The application is the same, although it's a little bit more textured on this side than this side, but it does create like an overall airbrushed effect. I don't really like using either one of these for a cream or liquid product. I actually like using it more for my powders. I think it does really, really well with the powders because it really like presses the powder into your face. Should you get a dupe for the Tati Blendiful? And I would say yes, it's totally worth it. It's $5.99 and now you're getting 3 of these, 3 of the little red ones, whereas you pay $18 for this and a teeny tiny little Blendiful puff thing, this thing, and you're paying $18 for that, where you get $5.99 and you get 9 little puffs. So definitely go check it out. I will link it below again. And thank you for watching this video. Thank you for staying tuned. And I will see you guys later in my next video. Bye. So my big thing that I'm looking for is, does it, let's pull up my Amazon cart really quick because I want to see, I can't remember how much I paid for one little package of these dupe Blendifuls. Man, we order a lot of stuff.